We really were pleased with the practice and the improvement that we were able to make last week with some players relative to the bye week. I also think that some guys that have been playing a little nicked up, we were able to rest a little bit and try to get healthy, so we don't really have a lot of injury issues, right now as we, move into this November schedule, which is very difficult, starting out with, LSU. This is not the kind of game that anybody could not get excited about playing in. Obviously, this rivalry in the last, few years has always, meant a lot to whether it's national rankings, SEC West, very meaningful game. Two really good programs, really good teams. LSU, I think, is one of the best programs in the country in terms of the quality of players they have, the great job that their coaches do in developing those players, and also how they play and how they compete, in every game that they play in. This team could very easily be 9-0, losing 2 games on the road by, 3 points to very good teams in very tough environments. Zach Mettenberger has played extremely well for him at quarterback. Jeremy Hill is the leading rusher in our conference and one of the best in the country. Their ability to run the ball and have balance on offense with 2 outstanding receivers who are both ranked as, top guys in our league. Very good on third down, best in the country, 58% conversion rate. So even when you do get them stopped, it's been hard for people to get them off the field on third down. So this is, by far to me, the most explosive, most talented offensive team that, we've faced, all year long. Defensively, they always play great on defense. I mean, they play hard, they play with toughness, they've always got good players, they've always got great team speed on defense, and, they're again ranked very highly, in our conference in terms of their defense. And it'll certainly be a challenge for us to, try to control the line of scrimmage against a team like this and be able to make explosive plays down the field in the passing game. They're very good on special teams. You turn around and take some of those skill guys that they have. Beckham is a good returner, a good punt returner, a good kickoff returner. They've always got really good skill guys because they have great team speed. They always do a great job on special teams. So, Les Miles has done a fabulous job, in my opinion, of, having a consistently really good football team for a long time at LSU, and this team is no different.
I have 2, Coach. First, you mentioned Jeremy Hill. How involved were you in recruiting him? How did that go? And how hard is it to find backs of that size in recruiting?
Well, Jeremy Hill is, as I said, probably size, speed, athletic ability, good receiver, good hands, really good balance and body control. He's got great speed for his size. We obviously thought he was an outstanding player in high school. We recruited him, very, very hard. Things just didn't work out, for us. He was very interested in our place, and there were circumstances that made it more difficult in the recruiting. But he's turned out to be a really good player, and obviously has done a great job of representing their team.
And also, this is off topic, but if you'll indulge, rookie hazing in the NFL is a big topic right now, particularly at your former team. How is your attitude toward freshman hazing or rookie hazing or those sorts of issues? How's that changed over your coaching career?
Well, we don't have that here. We don't sort of aspire to, that kind of treatment of anybody in terms of, the personal respect that we should show everybody on our team. And, we certainly don't want to ever affect anybody's, personal dignity in terms of hazing or being critical in any way. Our approach has been to try to get our older players to be supportive of the younger players, to remember, how you felt when you were a freshman, maybe being away from home for the first time, A lot of new things happening in your life, whether it's, personal adjustment that you're making to college, academic adjustment that you're making to college, a lot to learn, relative to development as a football player. So we've always taken the approach that we want our older guys to sort of engage our younger guys to do the things they need to do that's going to help them be most successful in all those areas. We don't think that being negative with them in any way, enhances that. So, and I think our players have done a great job here of trying to help our young guys sort of do the things they need to do to have a better chance to develop in the program. And I think that that's contributed to the fact that we've had a lot of freshmen play here. I think we've had 14 freshmen play, so far this year. That's one of the top number in the country. I think the top team might have had 17. All right, so that means that those guys are getting a lot of support, a lot of guidance, and a lot of help from older players in terms of what they need to do to have a chance to compete early in their career.
Coach, it seems like from the second half of the game last year against you guys, Zach Mettenberger has been a different quarterback. If you could just talk about the progression that you've seen in him on the field as a player.
Well, he played fantastic against us last year, I think the whole game. He made some great throws. He stood in the pocket and got, whacked a couple times and still made very, very good throws when we pressured and they completed the ball. They did a really good job against us on third down last year. He did a very good job. On third down, they made a lot of explosive plays in the passing game. He does a great job of getting them in the right play, understanding what they want to do. I mean, he really is, contributes a lot to their efficiency on offense, which I think has been very, very good. And I think that he's played extremely well, this year. Played great against us last year, so we have a lot of respect for him.
Just wonder if you can expound a little bit on Landry and Beckham, and then maybe just how your cornerbacks have kind of grown ever since the Texas A&M game, where they had a little bit of trouble there and moved on from that point.
Well, I mean, these two, the combination of these two guys, are as good a receivers as we played against, all year long. Not the same style as Texas A&M guys, but very quick, very athletic, got the speed to get on top, very smart, in terms of route runners. They do a good job of, putting them in various positions where it makes it more difficult to cover and get the kind of matchups on them that you'd like. So all those things, and the quarterback is very accurate and knows where he wants to go with the ball and has a good understanding of what they're trying to get done. So, these two guys to me are most challenging, group that we played against all year long.
Obviously, you're one of the top third down defenses in the country this year. They're one of the best third down offenses. They had a lot of success against you last year. When you're dealing with an experienced quarterback like Zach, what's the best way to affect him on third down? Is it confusing him? Is it rushing him?
Well, I think it's a combination of all the above. You like to try to disguise what you're doing so that he can't really anticipate where to go with the ball before he gets it in his hand. You'd also like to be able to pressure him and affect them in the pocket as much as possible. But I think that, if you have to do that by playing, single high coverage with the kind of skill guys, you're going to put a lot of pressure on the secondary guys. But I think it's a combination of all the above. I mean, I really do. I think that if he knows what you're doing before you do it, he's going to have a really good chance of getting the ball the right place at the right time. And a lot of the timing routes they run are really difficult to defend. It's bang, bang. And, last year we had close coverage on him several occasions and got the ball right in there where he needed to. So I think we need to do all the above. But I also think that, fundamentally covering guys the way you need to so that even if they catch it, they can't catch it and run with it, because they've made a lot of big plays, catching the ball and making guys miss and turning those maybe short catches into big plays. And we missed a few tackles on them last year that, contributed to a couple big plays. So, all those things are going to be important in terms of being able to be effective on third down or on all their passing, actually.
On their offense, the run-pass balance, how has that changed or evolved maybe over the last year?
Well, I think they had the same, I don't think changed. I think last year they had tremendous balance, good receivers, and certainly had balance against us. They ran the ball effectively against us, especially in the second half. You know, we struggled to get them stopped. I mean, we stopped them on a 4th down and got them stopped in, you know, close to the red zone another time. And but they moved the ball effectively, running and passing. So they have a very good play-action passing game. And you know, if you're forced into playing 8-man fronts all the time, then you're going to be in single coverage outside, and they're certainly got the guys to take advantage of that. So this is really challenging group, but I don't see it different than it was a year ago in terms of their ability to throw the ball versus their ability to run it. I think they had the balance last year. They have it this year.
Coach, a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Last night, I guess your fame kind of hit another level with your appearance on 60 Minutes. Can you give us your opinion on that piece? And also, your days as a grad assistant, did you ever envision that one day you would be on 60 Minutes?
Well, you know, first of all, you know, we've had a lot of positive comments, you know, about the piece. We were obviously working last night till pretty late. I did not get the opportunity to watch the piece. I did get a favorable comment from Ms. Terry, so that means it must have been okay. You know, really, it really represents not me, but the program and the players in the program and the things that we do as a program, whether it's summer camp or whatever, that we try to do the best we possibly can to, you know, help young players. And we certainly appreciate the opportunity and the time spent, you know, by 60 Minutes and their staff. You know, Armin has always been, you know, a very professional, first-class guy. I'm one of the best in the business at what he does, and their whole crew was fantastic in, you know, terms of how, you know, they went about what they did. And we've gotten a lot of positive comments, but I can't give you a personal opinion because I haven't really seen it yet.
Coach, you also look out for players after they leave here. There was a piece last week in ESPN, the magazine, on Orlando McLain, the issues that he's been dealing with. The story said that you have reached out to him. How concerned are you about his welfare?
Well, you know, we want Roe to make good choices and decisions about, you know, what he does in the future. You know, there's a guy that has a tremendous amount of potential, a tremendous amount of, you know, leadership ability to affect other people. You know, so we want to help him every way that we can. You know, first of all, he is in school. We are encouraging him to graduate. Whatever his choice is about what he wants to do with his football career in the future, I think is got to be up to him. He's the guy that has to do the work, you know, to make that successful for him. But, you know, his choices and decisions off the field, we certainly would hate any of our players to ever do anything that would affect their ability to be successful in the future. And he did a fantastic job for us here in terms of how he played, how he represented the university, as well as the leadership that he provided and affected, and how he affected other people on our team. And, you know, we certainly appreciate that. And he did stop by to see me last week and wish me happy birthday, which made me feel good. And he seemed to be doing well, and we're hopeful that he'll continue to do well in the future.
Coach, obviously the last 2 years you've had a late loss, but still have gone on to win a national championship. With so many teams undefeated up in that top 5 or 10 right now, can you guys afford a loss and still play for a national title?
Well, I really can't answer that question because you know, it's kind of hypothetical in terms of what's going to happen. I think the thing that we can control here is to try to get our players to play the best that they can play, do the best job they possibly can in every game that we play, and focus on the things that they need to do to play, you know, winning football against some very good football teams that we have to play against coming up down the stretch here. And, you know, that's what we're going to try to focus on. And, you know, understand that, you know, we sort of determine, you know, what we do. So how about let's focus on what we do to try to make that happen for us in a positive way. And that's what we're trying to get our players to focus on. That's what we're trying to focus on as coaches, and got to play these games one game at a time and have a tremendous amount of respect for the things that you need to do to play winning football against really good football teams. And I think everybody's got to buy into that, and everybody's got to do their job when it comes to that, because in all these games, it comes down to 3 or 4 plays, and you never know when those plays are coming up, so you got to be in the right place every play. And you got to do it with a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of toughness, because I can only tell you that every one of these games we play with these guys has been very, very physical, and you know, it's a little bit like a heavyweight fight, and you certainly can't, you know, fade in any round.
You told us a bit of what y'all covered last week. I was wondering, do y'all get a chance to self-scout more on an open date? And what is y'all's procedures as you look at yourselves a little bit?
Right. Well, you know, we do that on a week-to-week basis, and obviously when you don't have a game, it gives you a little bit more time to do that and kind of see what your tendencies are, you know, offensively, defensively, special teams. And, you know, I think self-analyzation is really important, because to understand what the other team really knows about you based on what you do, I think is really important. Now, I think to go try to change everything that you do is probably not very smart either, but to do things that complement those things, that the players can sort of, you know, adjust to, probably is a smart thing to do, to try to not give the other team an advantage. So we have the same opportunity to know what our tendencies are as they do, so we should certainly do everything we can to, you know, take advantage of that, and I'm sure they do the same thing.
2 more, BC.
Nick, are you pleased that the focus the last few years has sort of shifted away from your ties to Alabama and LSU, and now it's about the players, the teams on the field, given how
Well,
successful
I think it should be about the players on the field. You know, it should be about the 2 teams that play. You know, we've had a lot of great games, and I don't think since the first year we've ever had a game where it's not 2 really good teams playing. And I'm talking about the first year we probably weren't, you know, all that great, and they had a really, really good team. But since then, you know, the players that play the game, the competitors that are involved on the field, I think that's where the focus should be, and I'm actually pleased and happy that that's where the focus is. And I think it's what the players deserve. I think it's what the institutions deserve. I think it's what the fans deserve, and I certainly think it's, you know, in the best interest of our league and college football that that's where the emphasis is.
Last one, Joe.
3 or 4 plays can win it, 3 or 4 plays can lose it. You as a coach, knowing that it's got to be so tight, how much enjoyment do you get during this week in the preparation against a team and a program that's so identical to yours?
Well, you know, I think that from my perspective, you know, the way we try to get ready for every game is sort of the same, you know, kind of whatever grind, whatever you want to call it, in terms of, you know, every situation that comes up, getting your players to understand and anticipate, you know, what's going to happen, what they need to do to execute, get them to practice and prepare so that it gives them the best opportunity when the game comes. And look, we have a tremendous amount of respect for this team, but we've had a tremendous amount of respect for every team that we play. So if there was a better way to do it, we would already have been trying to do it that way. And I think I want our players to sort of understand that as well, you know, that we need to focus on, you know, preparing for this game and, you know, have the right emotional, psychological disposition to go out there and execute and play, you know, their best football. And I think it's going to come down to basic execution. And the more emotion you have doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to execute better. So you got to stay in the right place for who you are and what you do, so that the choices and decisions and discipline that you play with is going to enhance your opportunity to be successful.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.